something like 6 or 8 hours of something. Like the show I got really caught up in was the Life and Death of the designer. Versace. Gianni Versace. I got caught up in it. So that's a perfect example of what the people in Hollywood are being asked to do by the people who exhibit the work based on what you all want to see. So the distillation of what you've told in one form or another, told the people who are responsible for the networks that you watch, have come to the conclusion that what you guys want, what American audiences want, is like Gianni Versace, 6, 8, 10 hours of an event, and then that's the end of it. So we who make these shows now understand that whereas Star Trek would get an order for 24 hours of material, so we'd be at work all year long making 24 one-hour shows. Now it's 6, 8, 10 shows, and it's much more limited, and that's what the audience wants. So anthology shows like Twilight Zone are no longer popular, and the fact that they're resurrecting Twilight Zone with all those wonderful half-hour twist stories. One of them, well, the two that I was on was seeing this Czechoslovakian acrobat on the wing of an airplane. And the other was the machine that kept giving you the fortune, which was so obscure that it froze him. He couldn't move. Be careful of where you go. You never know what's going to happen. As vague as that, you know, I better not go. So those wonderful story ideas, and there were so many of them by these guys. Has anybody looked up The Intruder? What?
Roger Corman.
No, Roger Corman directed it.
Charles Beaumont.
Charles Beaumont. Did you look it up or did you remember?
No, I just remembered.
That's fantastic. Okay, so Charlie Beaumont wrote The Intruder. He was one of the Green Thumb who wrote many of that show. Charles Beaumont wrote a book called The Intruder, in which a guy from New York City goes down to the South and during integration and rouses these small towns to fight against integration. He was like the worst of the Nazi, but he was no Nazi. It was like very peculiar, strange mental illness that guy from the North goes down to the South to rail against integration. And he and I, as a result of the movie, became friends. What happened to Charlie Beaumont was we came back from the movie, and in defiance of what I had said earlier, we bonded and we would meet every week, twice a week, have lunch. And he gradually, he'd have a cocktail to drink. And then he got drunk on one cocktail. Wow, that's kind of weird. And then as a year went by, he got further and further along, more and more inebriated on one drink. And he began, within a year, he had become an old man. And it's a disease. You die of old age in a very short period of time. And that's what happened. Charlie Beaumont lived a Twilight Zone. Okay. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Just wants to say hello and
Goodbye.
thank you for coming to New York.
Oh, come on.
Thank you, Mr. Shatner.
Andy Snyder.
Hi.
I'm Mike's media partner. We have a show called Selling Heroes, and we
What?
Selling Heroes.
Selling Heroes.
Yeah, we're the Selling Heroes.
Is that like a sandwich?
We sell coffee.
Yeah, that's,
This is my wife, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon, how are you? You look familiar.
Is it true Yeoman Ryan got thrown off the show because they wanted you more involved with the other women that you find on your adventures?
Thrown off the show because she was getting involved with the producer.
Well, me and Mike have been doing shows for 50.
Oh my goodness, thank you.